And then we went to Tompkins Square Park, and every trash can in Tompkins Square Park was on fire. And I was like, I like this. This is what I'm talking about.
Say last week you made the first big guy. He promised you the stars in the sky. He said his Cadillac was gold. He didn't say it was 10 years old.
The only reason I came here, and the only reason I stay here, is it's the most amazing platform for like getting your point across and whatever you're doing, getting it out in front of people. This is like a really great mountaintop to yell your message from. It's like I roll out of bed and I just turn on the microphone and then suddenly I'm broadcasting to like 40 million people.
If your woman steps out with another man and she runs off to them to Japan, and the IRS says they want it back, and you can't explain why you claim your back.
Every time I express myself in any format, there's a bit of subversion in it. You know, and the only subversive message I'm putting across is like, you can be you. You have the right to be exactly who you are. I have the right to be exactly who I am, unadulterated, and bring it to you raw, uncut. Most of what I did, I'm proud of. You know, I could stand up and look at most of the graffiti I did and feel like, yeah, I did it. Even if that's a perfectly pristine black spray paint tag on your immaculate white wall, it was well done. And the punchline after it was funny.
Yeah, in 1989, the city looked like a bomb had hit it, you know? In California, whatever, I found like a group of peers that were like me, but here, like, everyone on the street was a freak, you know? If you were, like, 25 and under, you were fucking weird in this town. So it was like all of a sudden I moved to a whole country that was full of weirdos, you know? And it was like when I was 19, it really hit me really hard.
Like, in retrospect, it's interesting, the stuff that I ended up being exposed to. Like, we were in a hotel room, and we were about to go out to dinner, and I turned on the TV, and Star Wars was on TV, which is super ultra mind-blowing. And I mean, I wasn't doing graffiti or anything, but it was just like, the power of it, and then the colors, and like, it was like 15 minutes of I just soaked in this other thing.
When I was like in 2nd or 3rd grade, they took 10 of us into this little room to do, somebody was doing a study on kids' brains, and they taught us how to read one-line comics, and it, as soon as when they explained it and I understood it, it changed it was like a synapse happened or something connected, and it changed everything.
The first thing I really got into creatively was my punk band, and I didn't take the art I was doing seriously at all. It was just this weird habit I had, and we would practice in the house, and my parents were really supportive. Like, they would come to our shows with Aggression. My dad would be wearing the suit, my mom would be, and they'd come to almost every show, like at a little dumb house party or whatever, and it just made me hate them even more, that they were so supportive and actually kind of cool about it.
My whole school was rockabilly, and then like me and my 2 friends were punkers, and they'd be like, the whole school would be like, let's rumble after school, and we'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, that's what? Like, go fight yourselves.
Violent kids, druggies, and stuff like that, those are the guys that basically I found the most interesting, and I have to imagine that they still exist today, but I just don't know where they are as much. But then again, I don't hang out with teenagers, except for these ones.
I'm living a moral life, you know? I'm living basically a Christian life right now. I'm not killing animals. I'm a vegan. I'm taking great precautions to be compassionate to all creatures on the earth. You know, faithfully married for 14 years. I run a business, and I go out of my length to not fuck people over and to do things that I think are, like, sound. I feel like I'm living a good moral life, a very strong moral life. Why would I not make it into heaven?
He was skating all day, and he was super hot and sweaty, and so I offered to buy him a drink, and he was just about to take a drink of it, and his friend whipped it out of his hand and guzzled it all down. Like, He just looked up with those big green eyes, and I just thought he was so adorable. Then 2 days later, we went on a date, and then 2 days after that, became boyfriend-girlfriend.
How long ago was that?
Almost 18 years ago. And in my head, when he would shoot the photos, and when we get them back before they'd show up on any wall, I just thought, this is going to be so much fun when we turn 70 or 80 years old to look back on, like, the way we looked, the way we loved. That's why I like the photos in the first place, just between him and I, like, not what anyone else is going to see or take away from it.
This is Hidden Valley. It's just a piece of land in the middle of the suburbs that's unused. By the city at least, but it's used by everyone else. Like BMX kids come here and build these tracks, and homeless people live in here. There's like rope swings, and there's battlefields for paintball wars, and so it's just like a BMX paintball. You know, come here at night and have sex and smoke pot fest here. I bet there's some good stuff here. But at this point, I feel like a home invader, you know? Like, there's actually, obviously, people living here. Here's pretty much the center of it all. The rope swing area. Where many a kid's legs have been broken by letting go of the rope swing over the swamp. My knee's kind of jacked. I shouldn't do this stuff. Skateboarding took over in my life. I mean, I turned pro, and with a month left of high school, and just got offered to go to Europe and took off.
It's skateboarding, man. Like, that's where all of this came from. Skateboarding is a very kind of rigorous movement. You have to, like, try and try and try, and then finally you get something. Nothing comes like that.
It's attracted so many creative people. You know, that's something I've really noticed. It's attracted a lot of, like, heroin addicts and creative people, and a lot of creative heroin addicts, a lot of boozers, juice heads, rapists, scum. It's like a magnet for that shit.
Skating back then was weird. People go like, that's retarded. You spend your time doing that? It's like, you hula hoop? You're a hula hooper? I'm gonna beat you up. That's what it was like. It was like, yeah, I'm a fucking hula hooper. I'm gonna leave school and go hula hoop for 5 hours. That's what I do. And girls aren't like, yeah, I want to bone the guy who hula hoops.
Like, the punk guys had so much time on their hands because there wasn't much to do if you were punk. So we'd go skating, And they'd still be there, and then go back to where like punks hang out, and they'd still have been there. And all they could do is like go to Dairy Queen.
I never really thought of skateboarding as a sport, you know. Now it's referred to as a sport. You see it on television. It always seemed to me like an art form. You know, there were no rules to it. It was almost like dancing. Skateboarders like Mark Gonzalez would maybe like attract, you know, another kind of skater. He interpreted skateboarding differently than what I saw most people doing. Just thinking about things in reverse, in terms of opposite. And so he was a real, like an artist skateboarder.
As a skateboarder, number one, he invented street skateboarding, and almost everything that everybody does today on a skateboard comes from Mark Gonzalez. It was derivative of something that guy did, which is just pretty amazing. And on top of that, his artwork, it was on that level too.
With Mark too, to me it's not so important the form, which is really freeing. Like watching his stuff, it's not so important what it looks like or what it is, but it's like the ideas in it, or the spirit of it, or the kind of mental feeling. Like you feel like you're watching a brain working. It's more cerebral in a weird way, while not being like smart, like geniusly dumb, you know.